If you'd like to stand, we will sing our call to worship. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place in the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 Last one. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Well, good morning, one and all. In case you didn't get the memo, you're welcome here. My name is Michael Robold. I'm the worship assistant. I just want to let everybody know that all of these beautiful images that are on the screens, that's Molly DeBell doing all that work. No, I'm wrong? No, I didn't say it were your photos. Now, as far as the order of what gets up there, I have nothing to do with that. And I'm not going to say who's in charge because sometimes the order is not quite the same. But we're talking about announcements now. I think, I don't know. And today we're delighted to have one of our own congregants talking. So let's give a good hand right now for Bob White. And for the month of February, it's going to be a collection of people who are actually all from the congregation, including our, what would you call her, interim reverend, or
Minister of Record.
Minister of Record Judy Grimes. So that's the schedule up there. And then the Boomerang Gang is meeting on Friday at 6 o'clock at the home of Scylla and Steve. And if you have never been to that, you're welcome to come. They'll even tell you how to get there because there's directions out in the hall. But you could also talk to Steve and Scylla, who are back there. The topic is going to be the daily word for that day, which is insight. And if you have never received a copy of Daily Word in the mail, here's your chance, because there's special pricing on 6 issues from $41.70 to $9.95. Sounds like a deal. So we have copies available. If otherwise, I think you can read them on your whatever those things are. So there's a sign-up sheet just to let everybody know who's coming and what you might want to bring as a part of the potluck. Is that what it is? Yeah. So one final announcement is coming from the board president, Libby Robo.
You know, we try to keep these as a board minute, but we've been doing a lot of things on this board, and so we have a few things to bring you up to date on. After we have a meeting, we like to share a little bit about what's going on so you can keep abreast of it, because we are totally honored as a group to be representing you on the board and making things happen. But first and foremost, we hope you'll all come and plan to attend the annual meeting, which is in the last weekend in February. Reverend Judy Grimes will be here. And that's the day that we elect a couple new board members. So we'd love to have you be here, to, not just for that, but all the interesting things that ensue in that meeting. So please do put that on your calendar. And before I get going with our quick announcements, I'm going to have Molly, if you would come up. Molly DeBell is going to share with you a little project that's been in the making for quite a while. And finally, here we are with it. So go ahead. You want to?
I'm going to give you 2 of them. Sure, why not? Come on up here. So this is a project that the Spiritual Enrichment and Education Committee, also known as the C Committee, has been working on for a while. And it kind of goes along with our book study for this year. This is like getting back to the basics of unity, thought, and principles. And so here in the middle, Libby's got the 5 basic principles of unity, you know, and then we've got the 12 powers of unity, which anyone who's been in unity for a while has heard of the 12 powers, and that will be coming up in our book study this year. And then this one, core values of our Unity Church, which have been around for quite a while now too. So we're going to be looking for a place to hang these, and so you guys, you know, read these and refresh your memory, and just, you know, remind yourself that these are the basic principles and teachings and ideas of unity. And so again, this was from the Spiritual Enrichment and Education Committee that did this. Okay?
Thank you, Molly. And pretty much any kind of coursework and so forth that we have that goes through here also goes through the Spiritual Education Committee. So that's exciting. So a few other quick things. We've also been working on the order of service over time. And you may have noticed we've moved the announcements up to the front at the top of the service so we can have the rest of the service have more of a sacred go-within feel to it. We also are excited about the wedding venue that everybody knows about. We have the amphitheater, and it's all wired and ready. And this spring, we're all set to go to a little expo in April to get things going. So if you have friends, relatives that you know that are looking for a wedding venue, it couldn't be better than here, right? Excuse me. Pardon me. So anyway, if you know anybody, encourage them to consider the amphitheater. Also, we are updating our visitor packets, and we needed to bring them up to date. Kay is smiling with excitement.
to bring them up to date to what's really going on now. So if you're visiting here for the first time today, not only do we welcome you, but keep coming back so you'll get the new updated visitor packet soon. We're also finalizing our 2024 budget, and we're planning a video to attach to the information for someone who's looking to possibly be a ministerial candidate here. And we want to create a little video that does snippets and shows what goes on here so that a prospective candidate can go, wow, that looks like fun. They look like a cool bunch of people. So if any of you have that kind of videography skill and are interested in helping out on that, kind of get in touch with any of us on the board. We're excited to have that happen. And the last thing I'd like to share this morning is that Molly and husband Michael and I went to a meeting with SALT. And do you know the exact what SALT means? Isn't that cool? Spiritual activists leading together. We met with a woman named Ann Odell, and they are a committee. They're especially active over here on the east side of town, but they're all about affordable housing and homeless concerns, as are about 40 other organizations in this area. We should be very excited that we live here, right? But also, they are about spiritual justice. I like that. Not political justice, spiritual justice, and they're also looking at spiritual justice around voting and spiritual justice for our environment. So we have a lot of great things going on and lots of opportunities that if you would like to participate, thank you so much, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
I'm on. If you'd like to stand up, the grace chant is sung in a round, so we'll sing it once together and then twice in a round. And you folks over there can go with her, Maggie, and you guys are stuck with me. Into thy hands I commit my spirit. Thy will is my will. Heal me at death, so that I may glorify God. Reveal that which needs to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed, so that I may glorify God. Into thy hands I commit my spirit. Thy will is my will. Heal me at death, so that I may glorify God. Reveal that which needs to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed, so that I may glorify God. Reveal that which needs to be my spirit. Heal that which needs to heal me at death, so that I may glorify God. Reveal that which needs to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed, so that I may glorify God. Reveal that which needs to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed, so that I may glorify God.
Well, now it's time for our opening prayer. So if you can just get comfortable in your seat, relax, allow your shoulders to let go of any burden you might be carrying, and recognize that you are in the right place. You are here by, as we say, divine appointment. Whatever brought you here has given you the opportunity to be in a very loving, happy, and joyful place, surrounded by people who hopefully will be your friends. As we come to this place, we feel the collective energy, and we understand that each and every one of us is joined by that collective energy that flows in and through each of us. And for this we give thanks and recognize good is everywhere present, as God is everywhere present. And each of us is an expression of the Christ light that is all about doing good in the world. And for this we give thanks. Amen. Let's affirm together our unity statement. Together, I walk in faith, guided by my inner light.
You can remain seated. Healing light flows through my hands. Healing hands, healing hands. I am an instrument. God is the power in these healing. God is the life in my healing hands. Healing sight now fills my eyes. Healing eyes, healing eyes. I am an instrument. God is the power in these healing. God is the sight in my healing eyes. Healing songs sing through my voice. Healing voice, healing voice. I am an instrument. God is the power in these healing. God is the songs in my healing voice. Healing joy shines through my smile. Healing smile, healing smile. I am an instrument. God is the power in these healing. God is the joy in my healing smile. Healing love flows through my heart. Healing heart, healing heart. I am an instrument. God is the power in these healing. God is the love in my healing heart. Healing heart.
Once again, I would encourage you to let go, soften, relax, and yet at the same time, allow yourself to lift the heart, broaden the chest, and let go. Perhaps comfortable closing your eyes so that your attention is more fully focused inward. And the hands perhaps are resting in your lap. Perhaps one hand rests on top of the other. There are many ways to position the hands. The familiar prayer position is fine. It's all good. It's all about you going within, and letting go of troubles, past hurts, worries, anxiousness. Let the past allow you to move forward with no burden. But let the future wait for just a short period of time as you bring full awareness into where you are right now, this present moment. Recognize that you are in charge. You have the power. No one and no thing can control you. You have a mind, and you have not only the responsibility and the obligation, but the freedom to be in charge. You can be in control of your mind and use the power of your mind to do that which you are called to do. And that's where a time of stillness and silence can bring about the awareness of where am I being led. So let's go to that place of stillness, silence, and simply focus your mind's attention on that smooth, easy breath flowing in and out. Whenever we take the time, wherever we might find ourselves with time to be still, to relax, to turn within, we recognize that it's a practice, and there's no right or wrong to any of it. We just recognize how it is and how it changes, how our mind fluctuates, and how we are changing. Recognizing that we have the power to change almost anything in our life, especially our thoughts, our words, and our actions. And may our behavior in life be a role model for others as we let our Christ light shine. Amen.
With every word I say, may I sound more like you. With each gift I give today, may I give more like you. With every step I take, may I walk more like you. With every vow I make, may I be more like you. More like your hands, more like your heart, filled with your grace, touched by your wonder. With every breath I take, may I grow more like you. In each and every way, may I be more, always be more like you. May I be more like you.
Good morning. Get my outline here. I'll tell you, between Michael's meditation and that song, it covers about everything I was going to say. So thank you for being here today. We'll see you next week. That was a wonderful meditation. And Carol, your voice is back. I'd like to start with a question today. It probably doesn't apply to anyone else in this room, but maybe me and maybe one other person. But is there anybody here that has ever overthought something, revised something over and over again to the point of paralysis? I see a few heads going like this. Yeah, okay. Well, then I'm among friends. Because this was a week where I overthought everything almost to the point of, do I need to take the next breath or I'm okay like this? How long can I go without breathing? I had gone down the overthinking rabbit hole to the point where around the next corner I was going to see Alice or the Mad Hatter. They were going to be there. And I had a hard time even coming up with a name for what I was going to talk about today, and I'm not sure this fits the bill, but on the screen you should see a slide. I hope you can read it. It says, "Hold on, let me overthink this." That was my life this week. And it's not a very comfortable place to be in, at least not for me. It leads to usually the realization of something that I need to be aware of. And it started actually last Saturday, excuse me, when I was in the course that I'm taking through the Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute. And every week we have these written assignments to do and homework to do, and for whatever reason, I was just not on the same page with any of it, and I'm thinking, I don't get this, what's wrong, what am I doing wrong? I want to make sure I get it right. And it occurred to me that I don't have this need to always be right in a conversation or an argument or a confrontation, even though I do. I realize that I have this need to provide the right answer to any question or any situation that I'm presented with. And it's another example of whatever it is that's happening has got nothing to do with the way I'm feeling. Because every time that happens, it's nothing but a trigger, which takes me back to some previous circumstance where I felt that if I didn't have the right answer, I was not good enough, smart enough to be whatever it is that I needed to be. It also was an indication of a larger challenge for me. I've been going through a period for some time now of questioning my faith, the doubts that I have, and giving in to the ego's presence in my life and letting it determine what I'm thinking and therefore what I'm experiencing. The ego is a pretty intense being, if you will. And it's not one that is meant to be fought. It is one that is meant to be acknowledged, to say, okay, you might feel that way, but I have a choice here. And I choose not to follow your directives. Easier said than done in a lot of cases. When you give up your power like that, it's a good indication of just overthinking everything and of thinking too much, feeling too little, and not being who and what we really are, which are children of spirit, children of God. We are one with that being. We are one with each other, and we are one with everything that is here. Nature, animals, whatever. There's no separation there. That's what we create through living through the ego and what is everything that we are not, rather than being everything that we are. It's like when I'm in that situation where I need to have the right answer, I'm much more concerned with form rather than concerned with content. I want to make sure it's right. I want to make sure it sounds good. And I want to make sure that I don't feel like an idiot. Today, I'm going to take some time and speak as much from my heart, not so much from my head. Because one, whenever I speak from my head, I usually get myself in a whole lot of trouble. And it's much more comfortable and authentic for me to speak from the heart. One of the things I've been thinking about is how we navigate this thing called life. How do we get through this? And do I realize that being human is one of the greatest gifts we could ever receive? Now, there's a line of thought that says that, we're here because we decided to be here. And I suppose that could be true. I just don't remember being invited to that meeting. I don't remember having a voice in that decision, but here I am. And if we're here to be human, that means we're here to experience everything that our humanity has to offer. The good, the bad, the indifferent, the beautiful, the ugly. That's why we're here. That's what being a human is about. And all of those challenges are the way that we can continue to grow, that we can have a conscious purpose to our lives in overcoming those challenges that we have. One of the things I did near the end of the week, excuse me, is I've been known to get on the internet and surf. I just saw my wife go, Like, oh yeah. But this was a different type of searching. This was searching for inspiration. So I got online this week and came across a number of quotes and thoughts that I'd like to share a few of those with you today. All of them, to some degree, are full of opposites and polarities. One of the things that I said that we need to realize is that we have these opportunities through our challenges to grow. And one of the quotes I came across was from Joseph Campbell, who was one of the leading philosophers of our age, is the one who's basically responsible for the hero's journey. And if you ever get a chance, there was a PBS documentary with Bill Moyers and Joseph Campbell, 6 episodes on PBS back from the 1980s. It is worth a look. It's available on YouTube, and I would highly recommend to anybody who's interested in mythology, spirituality, and the hero's journey to take a peek. It will be enlightening, and I would hesitate to say life-changing. Another thing that they talk about is how we look outside for answers to our difficulties. How we don't realize that everything that we need is in us, through us, and we are the change we want to be, if we just allow ourselves to do that. To not be so concerned with appearance, to not be so concerned with how we sound, to not be so concerned with things that we can't control, but those that we can, and focus on those and become truly whole. I came across a quote from Peter Kingsley, who was an author, a scholar, and in the piece was called "In Dark Places of Wisdom." This is his quote. "If you're lucky, at some point in your life you'll come to a complete dead end. Or to put it another way, if you're lucky, you'll come to a crossroad and see that the path to the left leads to hell, the path to the right leads to hell, the road straight ahead leads to hell, and if you try to turn around, you'll end up in complete and utter hell. Every way leads you to hell, and there's no way out, nothing for you to do. Nothing can possibly satisfy you anymore. Then if you're ready, you'll start to discover inside yourself what you always longed for but were never able to find." So when you get to that point, as Michael was talking about, slow down, be quiet, and listen to that power that is within each and every one of us to become what we are. The truth of the matter is, spirituality does not mean the absence of pain and suffering, but it provides us a way to rise above our challenges and to continue our spiritual growth. In my infant days of becoming a little bit more spiritually oriented, and I wasn't obviously for quite some time, I thought, well, God, it's like if you get religion, you get spiritual, and man, you haven't got a problem in the world. You know, everything's going to be fine, everything's going to work out. And how wrong I was. But I hesitate to think where I would be if not for the grace of God, and if not for the spiritual practices that we embody here and that we can make parts of our lives. It is because of that that we grow. It is because of that that we are. And that is all we can be, which is plenty. We need be no more than that. There was a movie years ago that was kind of hokey, but it was called City of Angels. Anybody remember that? With Meg Ryan and who was the guy? Nicolas Cage, the fellow who just passed away. What was his name? I can't think of his name right now, but he was the guy that was also in the cop show and anyway, can't think of his name. The premise was these guys were angels, and Nicolas Cage was the angel who told people or led people to the afterlife. Because when he showed up, you know your time was up. You know, think about that. Wouldn't that be a great job to have? No. And the question was, or the point of that was, is these angels, as they were, really had no feelings. They experienced nothing. They observed. They may try to help on occasion, but they didn't have any experiential basis to decide, what's my worth? What am I other than this thing? And of course, the movie goes on that there is a way that these angels could give up their angelhood and become human and experience everything that we experience. The pain, the love, the frustration, the doubt, the cynicism, take your pick. And of course, Meg Ryan dies, as every good person in a movie like this does. And he's kind of stuck here. He's kind of stuck here from the standpoint of not being able to go back, but he decides that he doesn't want to go back. He wants to stay just the way he is and be human. It's a lesson there, I think, for all of us, that be careful what you ask for and go along for the ride. Go along for the ride. Another thing I came across was a fellow named Jim Lockhart, who is a minister of science of mind. He's also very into a lot of what we're going through in my class of integral ministry and so forth. And this was a quote I found of his. We sin or miss the mark when we refuse to acknowledge the challenges, the pain, the loss, the confusion of life. Ernest Holmes and the other founders tell us to turn away from the negative to a deeper reality, but they do not say to pretend that the negative does not exist. To deny the negative side of life is to deny a significant portion of our reality and a fertile ground for redemption, spiritual awakening. We grow from our discomforts when we understand them correctly. What we are to deny is an attachment or an identification with the negative side of life. Stuff happens. We have to accept that, and we have to move beyond it. And everything, again, is full of polarities. The purpose of all this, I think, is for me to connect with the fact that there is no way to be disconnected from God. There is no way that we cannot be spiritual beings. There is no way that we cannot be connected to one another and to everything that there is. And because of that, we're free. We can be free from everything that we think about ourselves that is not true. We can be free from any of the human attributes that we don't like. All we have to do, again, is to realize who and what we are and to live that way. When we get to New Thought as a whole, I've always been amazed, I don't know why, at how much things are intertwined. I don't care if it's Unity, Science of Life, Course in Miracles. You find the same threads, the same messages and all. And if you're ever wondering, what am I really listening to? Course in Miracles asks this question: does following that guidance restore my inner peace? If it does not, you have heard the false voice for fear, littleness, and your ego. We are meant to be peaceful. We are meant to be happy. And when we're not, it's because we're listening to something that's not true. And also, your healing voice protects all things today, and so I leave all things to you. I need be anxious over nothing. For your voice will tell me what to do and where to go, to whom to speak and what to say, what thoughts to think, what words to give the world. The safety that I bring is given me. Your voice protects all things through me. Eric Butterworth, that the only sin is the frustration of potential. We frustrate the infinite potential within us by developing a conscious block or blocks or inhibits the expression of our potential. In other words, we sin when we get in our own way or when we fail to bring our potential into actualization. And one of the greatest concepts that I think I've picked up from any New Thought discipline is, what do we do? What do we have to do? We have to do nothing, because we already are. All we need to do is get out of our own way and listen to what is true and what we are. So what does any of this mean? Here I can only speak for myself. I went through some of these, got a lot more of these, but that's enough. What we call life is a blessing. We have been given the opportunity to feel, to love, to rise above challenges, to become conscious participants in creating the life that we want to live simply by what our thoughts are. And I can stand here and guarantee you that's true, because I think of all the thoughts I've had that have been self-deprecating, negative, whatever you want to call it. And that's what my life has been for the majority of my life. Those things that I have feared most have shown up. Those things that I tried to avoid were right around the corner. And instead of taking the conscious decision to change the way I'm thinking and to co-create with God, as they say in everything I've ever read, what my life should be or what I want it to be. Haven't done that consistently for 70 plus years. You feel a but coming? But does not have to stay that way. I do not have to continue to do that. And it's going to take some work, some prayer, some meditation, and a whole lot of love. A whole lot of love. We are here, I think, to transform our lives and be a part in the transformation of other people's lives as well, and to make a positive difference in our world. That is actually the statement. They don't really have a mission statement in this class, but they do have that statement, which is an evolutionary purpose statement, they call it. The evolutionary purpose is just that, transforming lives and inspiring others to make a positive difference in our world. That's what we're here for. That's what we are here to do. We are everything we need to be. We create the separation. We create the resistance, and we need do nothing but be aware of the fact that not only is God with us, God is in us, expresses through us, and expresses as us. We are truly spiritual, holy beings. All we got to do is do it. I have a reading I would like to share to end today. I've shared part of this before, and I'm doing the abridged version today. It's an excerpt from one of the daily lessons in the Course in Miracles called I Rest in God. We ask for rest today. The quietness unshaken by the world's appearances. We ask for safety and for happiness, although we seem to look on danger and on sorrow. And though we have the thought that we'll answer our asking with what we request, I rest in God. This thought will bring to you the rest and quiet, peace and stillness, and the safety and happiness you seek. This thought has the power to wake the sleeping truth in you, whose vision sees beyond appearances to the same truth in everyone and everything there is. This is the day of peace. You rest. And while the world is torn by winds of hate, your rest remains completely undisturbed. You rest today. No more fearful dreams will come now that you rest in God. Take time today to slip away from dreams and into peace. I should have read that more this week. And there's one last thing I want to offer that is something that I have found to quell any distress that I have. And it should be on the screen at this point. When all else fails, hug your dogs.
Thank you, Bob. So this is our time to share our abundance. And as we always drive to church from where we live, we go through 5 roundabouts. And so that slows things down a little bit. But I've noticed, as I'm sure many of you have, that there apparently is a lot more abundance up here because everywhere we go, we see new structures being built for people to live in. And especially on Hammond Road, there is one completed storage unit, and now they're building another one, which is a lot larger. And during my childhood, I think I lived in, well, I know I lived in three different houses, and they all had storage units. They were called basement, closet, and garage. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff out there. And all I'm saying is that if you got more stuff than you need, and it's in the form of cash that you could make your check out to Unity of Traverse City. You can also use regular cash. You can use credit card. And of course, I know that everyone here is giving of their time and their talent and perhaps clearing out some of those closets and making more room in your basement by making donations to places that are serving the more needy in our community. So appreciate that. And let's affirm together, as you perhaps are holding on to something that you're willing to let go of today, our affirmation for our prosperity. Together, divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you. And so it is.
I claim a blessing. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. This is how I start the day, knowing good is on the way. I am claiming perfect health, love and laughter, friends and wealth. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. With conviction undeterred and power of the spoken word, take my life and redefine, break the shackles of my mind. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I lift my thoughts to higher ground, knowing miracles are all around. Each day unfolds just as it should when I'm focusing on my good. Life is filled with opportunities. I wonder what good will happen to me. I claim a blessing. Oh, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Yeah, yeah, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing.
Well, once again, you're welcome here, and thanks for coming. And as you all know, or if you're new here, after the service, after we leave, on your way out, why not go straight down the hall, and there's refreshments and conversation. And along the way, there are bulletin boards, and as Bob's final photo showed the dogs, I think there are people that could be dog walkers if there's a need for more people. There's also community activities that you can look at. Sheets are on the tables, and please, if you're interested in coming to the Boomerang Gang, notice the clipboard with the sign-up sheet, and let them know what you're going to be bringing. And if you have a question about how to get there, they're here, Steve and Scylla. And again, thanks to this great music. And Grant in the sound room. Bob and his wonderful talk. And of course, the other volunteers who are helping in the kitchen, as well as our greeters. Why don't we stand and circle up, as they say. Able to give packets of information to new people, and they will be updated in the future. If you would like to have a personal one-on-one time to ask for someone's prayers, or you have something to let go of, we do have chaplains. One will be up here, one in the hallway. Right now, if you feel that there is something in your life, in the life of someone you love or know, or in the world, let it be placed right here in the center of all our energy and the healing thoughts that are coming through each and every one of us will bless all those situations and those people. Feel free to speak their names, the places, whatever, and then we'll consecrate it with our prayer for protection. All the people who are. Prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us.
The love of Goddess enfolds us. The power of Goddess protects us. And the presence of Goddess watches over us. Wherever we are, she is.